Dun dun dun. I'm gonna start reviewing David Lynch films. I watched Eraserhead. The only other film of his that I've seen prior was Mulholland Drive, and I gotta revisit that. If I remember that, it was Naomi Watts. Remember her boobs? And I remember a giant brown mud hobo guy coming out of a corner. So I don't remember that movie, and I remember like a stage thing, like she went to see a magic show. So I barely remember that movie, but I just watched Eraserhead. I didn't like it. Not that it wasn't good. I almost respect it and don't care about ever seeing it twice. Which, you know what I'm saying? You ever have those movies that you kind of appreciate it for what it is? You get it. You're like, I see what you did there, but it's not for me. It's like how I felt after I watched Darren Aronofsky's Mother. I was like, I see what you did. I think it's creative. It's all about the Bible and Mother Nature and God and humanity. I appreciate it. Not for me. Never seeing it again. That's kind of how I felt about this movie. I was like, wow, this is fucking weird. What the hell is a baby thing? That little baby thing was so creepy. And I get it. He's afraid of being a dad. He's afraid of getting married. He's afraid of his identity being consumed. This is my interpretation. His identity being consumed by having a kid. The kid is deformed. I don't know if that is just his viewpoint of what a baby is to him. Like, he can't relate to it to a degree that it might as well be an alien. Or because he lives in, like, this industrial wasteland that he's walking to in the beginning that's mutated by industrial waste. Or he's so afraid of being a dad that this is a monster to him. David Lynch, he doesn't like to explain his movies. It's up to your interpretation of it. So that's my interpretation. I'm more so going with the, he can't relate to the baby to any degree, so it might as well be a monster to him. It's just a crying, whining thing that terrifies him. I love how exaggerative everything is, because everything's like a nightmare world, and like his wife scratching herself, it's really loud, and her itchiness and her constant anxiety, convulsions are dramatic. Everybody's facial expressions are dramatic. The scene in the beginning, probably my favorite part in the movie, was him visiting the parents. And it was so awkward and weird. And the mom starts scratching her daughter. I thought that was so funny. And then the dad's expressions, and he like froze and stared at him for a long time. I thought that was very amusing. So I thought that part of the movie, where it was like a black comedy, was very amusing. Then it got disturbing and slowly turned its way into a horror film. So you watch the movie start out as this surrealist imagery thing, and it turns into a comedic, like Twilight Zone episode of a family visit. He finds out he's going to be a dad, or he finds out he's already a dad. There's a baby already waiting for him. And then it slowly turns into like a David Cronenberg horror film. And you watch the baby and him seeing that big puffy cheeked lady, whatever the hell that's supposed to be or mean. I'm assuming she's an angel to lead him to heaven. Like he wants to die because he touches her and she turns into light. Am I crazy? Is this explained? I don't want to go watch people explain it, because then I feel as if I'm not doing my own thinking. But I felt like he was escaping out of the weird reality that he's in. So either he's what waking up is, or he's what dying is. I felt like the guy who was like the king in the very beginning of the movie, I feel like that's him. Like he feels like he's dying, so that's death and that's life. Or maybe I'm completely wrong about everything. When he cuts open the little blanket that the little, looks like a fucking brachiosaurus is in, and it like is just opened up and he stabs the heart. I was like, this movie went from interesting to just hard to watch, because it's intentionally disturbing, of course, but I just, body horror stuff like that, I could watch Saw films, but when it becomes gross body horror, and it's intentionally gross and you're supposed to look away, I'm just like, I don't want to watch it twice. That's why I never watched what are those movies where they stitch your lips to your asshole? Human Centipede. Never watched those movies. I remember watching the movie Raw, and it's about cannibals, and that movie just creeped me out. So overall, I'll give it a B. I respect it. I see what it is. It is a nightmare about parenthood and his fears and anxieties about the world and adulthood, I guess, in a way. He's married. He has a space kid, fucking dinosaur kid. And, yeah, it's about fear. It's about fear and anxiety. and his fears of being a parent and parenthood. Yeah, I don't love it, but I feel as if this is what's gonna be all of his films to me. Like, I'm gonna watch them and they're all gonna be so weird. I'm gonna have to either get on board or just get off the train. So I'm gonna try to get on the train and go through the madness that is David Lynch's filmography. So step one, Eraserhead. Subscribe.